It's okay, yeah. It's time to let live. It's time to let go.
Hey guys, thank you for joining me in another video on my YouTube channel, Julia's Daily Growth in Christ. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I no longer practice yoga. My experience with yoga started when I was a little girl. My mom would actually do exercises in the living room. I don't remember if they were exactly yoga. I believe they were mainly Pilates. So that kind of got me started. They did the breathing exercises and, similar stretches that yoga has. However, I was a little kid, so I didn't really care. I didn't have the attention span to enjoy yoga the way I later did, but I was introduced to it as something that was healthy and good and something that could just help me with my strength and my flexibility. Then one of my teachers actually started teaching yoga during PE, and that's when I started learning how to do sun salutations and like cat-cow and child's play. So I started practicing regularly from then. Not as consistent. Then I go into high school and I start experiencing a lot more anxiety. I play softball, I'm a pitcher, and there's a lot of tension with my father and I when it came to softball. There was a lot of tension when it came to games. I felt like I had a lot of pressure on me. So I started turning to yoga to find like a happy place, to be relaxed. I would join yoga classes right before a game. I would just do it after a good workout at the rec center. This practice became a large part of my routine. So then I moved to Denver and I'm still practicing yoga. In fact, I idolize yoga and think it's helping me a lot. And then I start Daily Growth and I start using that to help promote self-help and personal healing and self-reflection. My first logo with this channel was me in a yoga pose. Like, I was for real about it. I was teaching it as this is a source for, happiness and love and all that crap. At the beginning of Daily Growth, I watched this documentary called Bikram, and it's about Bikram Choudhury. Sorry if I say that wrong. It was pretty much about how this guy claimed original yoga poses as his own, brought it to America, made it super, super popular, had hundreds and hundreds of students who are following him in these classes called, for hot yoga. This was like intense yoga. Like, this guy was brutal to his students. Not only that though, he was assaulting his students as well. He would pull girls into his room and sexually assault them. Like, this guy was a full-out predator. He's one of the main reasons why yoga even came to America. He brought yoga into the modern exercising kind of culture that we have in America to this day. I didn't think, like, the documentary itself ended with, well, he brought such an amazing exercise and practice to America. Then I started preaching about God on my channel, and I started to go through a hell of a spiritual warfare. If you've watched my testimony, I explain a lot more in depth on what exactly was happening during this. But not only that, I had a lot of people messaging me on Instagram. I think 3 total people messaged me trying to tell me like that yoga was demonic and that it was not of Christian, like, you can't be a Christian and do yoga, or it's affecting your relationship with God, stuff like that. And I would just automatically ignore those messages and delete them and just not even bother to look into it. It just seemed like something that was helping me, so I kept doing it. Then this girl on Instagram named Armida, which we've actually kept in contact, and I thank God for her, like, all the time that she was able to reach out to me. She messaged me and she's like, Julia, are you still doing yoga? And I automatically had like this defense response, but she did it in a way that made me feel, okay, well, this could be a constructive conversation on explaining why yoga isn't demonic to me, We talked about it and I told her, strictly for stretching and for my physical health and not spiritually. And then she sent me a video, and this video was made by Led Live, which is a group of Christians who sit together and talk about different things that might be demonic or Satan influencing other people through certain stuff. Like, they get together and they talk about it in a biblical perspective. So I went ahead and watched this video. This video was the Led Live people getting together to talk about holy yoga, and they look at this girl's Instagram, this girl who runs holy yoga and was like the president, and they look at the stuff she posts and the stuff she talks about. And I learned a lot. The first thing they address is the meaning of yoga. Like, this is the first thing that made me think, oh, maybe. Like, it took me a while to convince me. Like, it took most of this video and more for me to finally be like, yoga isn't my thing. So anyways, the meaning of yoga is giving you the capability of being your own God. And I've heard that before, and I've heard like meditation talks and stuff like that, because I was meditating too. I wasn't focusing too much on the chakra side of things, but I was trying to meditate and even started using mudras. It's 3 6s. Oh my gosh, Jesus, rebuke any demons that might be in here. So then they went into further explanation of chakras and opening the third eye and what exactly that means. That when you're able to open your third eye, it's like becoming of God. Exodus 20 verses 3-4 say, "You shall have no other gods before me." A lot of New Age teaching says that in order to be yoked, you have to be able to practice meditation and explore these external beings that we don't completely understand, come to a point where we do understand them. And if anything, yoga helped me understand them less, and meditation helped me understand them less too. They also included a very great interview with Stephen Bancars, who's a former New Ager blogger who then turned his life to Christ. He knows a lot about the New Age and like yoga and where it all comes from. He said that in Hindu writing and Hindu teachings, chakra meditation, it is allowing the god of the serpent, so the serpent god, to start at the core, kind of the way the chakras do, and move its way up and wrap around your spine and come through your third eye. The Bible claims, like, uses serpent as a symbol for Satan. The correlation there is very interesting to me, because it's literally, they literally use the word the god of the serpent, and Bible says serpent and in reference to Satan so many times, and I just never thought to look at it, because, you know, who cares? It's what I make it, right? However, when they were talking in Led Live, they made a very good point about how even gurus from India, where yoga was originated, claim that you need yoga to be Hindu. Like, and yoga can't be separated from Hindu because it was created to worship Hindu gods. But when it got to this point, I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I feel like we can probably change yoga to make it so it's not demonic and not worshiping these Hindu gods. So I did a little more research, and on the same channel, the Led Live people, Little Lights, they had an interview with this girl named Jessica Smith. Jessica Smith is a former Reiki teacher. She used to teach yoga herself. And they go through this testimony, and she started out Christian, but then got introduced to this lady who can talk to the dead and talk to a friend she'd lost. She started exploring the spiritualistic realm and became a yoga Reiki teacher. However, she started realizing a lot like how I started realizing in, like I said in my testimony, my life wasn't going very well, and there was still problems I was running into. And so was Jessica. She continued to have failed relationships and was struggling with a lot of stuff, and she decided to look into Jesus. So as she's looking in these scriptures, she started feeling that spiritual warfare that I talked about in my testimony, but hers was like super dramatic and causing her to flex up and physically show signs of spiritual warfare. So then she goes to like these ministers, and they start praying, and they tell her to breathe. So she starts to breathe out, and it feels normal, but then she felt like she was breathing more than usual, like it was an abnormally long breath. And that's when she starts jerking into yoga poses. And while she was doing this, she would take a breath, and a word would flash in front of their eyes, like yoga and Reiki. Another one of the words that flashed out while she was being jerked into these poses was angel. And this correlates almost exactly, because when these words were flashing up, there were just flashes of white. And this correlates with 2 Corinthians 11:14, which says, "And no wonder, for even Satan himself can disguise himself as an angel of light." So at this point, I am sold that, you know, yoga can be demonic. However, I want to see it. Like, I want, like, even though I know, and even though I'm like, okay, I'm no longer going to do yoga, I want to see, like, what it looks like if someone's being demonically possessed using yoga as the source. So I take a look and I find this video, and the thumbnail looks like someone's possessed, so I'm like, okay, this should be perfect. And I watched this video.
Headlines: How to activate your Kundalini in 30 minutes. 5 ways to know your Kundalini is awakened. Well, this.
That is demonic possession. Like, this stuff is very real, and I saw this video and I knew it. I was just like, that is Satan right there. I've been deceived. However, there was still a lot of physical benefits that I felt like I was missing out on once I started giving up yoga. And this made me really want to know, like, okay, what are these physical benefits, and how can I incorporate exercises and workouts to work in a way yoga did without actually doing yoga. And Jessica Smith is actually thinking about making something like this too, called True Tone Fitness. I will make sure I link all of this stuff, all of the videos and people I've mentioned. I'll make sure to put links and references down below for you guys so you can check it out yourself. However, she hasn't come up with it yet, and I'm over here working full-time now. I got a job, yay! And I'm starting to feel the effects on my lower back, and my legs are getting tired after standing up for so long. So I need to start, like, working out more often, and I have been slowing down a little bit since my since during the quarantine, like deep into the quarantine at the beginning. So I'm gonna find exercises that from biblical perspective do not worship a god other than Jehovah. Like I said, I will make sure to provide all the links and resources I use for this video so you yourself can check it out and really understand where I'm coming from. This is just a shorter explanation of all the research that I ended up going through, and if you're in a place where you're like, I think yoga is good for me, like I don't want to give it up, I would highly suggest just please check them out. Right below those resources, you'll be able to find different links and phone numbers and text lines that are meant for people who are stuck in situations that they feel like they can't get out of by themselves. If you watch the Hope Rocks video, I talk about the stigma of having to deal with trauma on your own, and it's not real. You don't have to do it on your own. First of all, we got God. Second of all, there are people out there who want to help you, who want to give you those resources towards your healing, and I would hate for anyone to miss out on that opportunity. If you keep scrolling down, you'll find my social medias. If you like these videos, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to keep track of my videos in the future, go ahead and subscribe and turn on the little alarm button so that way you can get notifications on when I'm posting my next video. Thank you for joining me in this video, and I hope my growth can help your growth. Cool. Mom called me. Hey, I'm filming a video. Can you give me a sec? Okay, go for it.